The massive starship Horizon hung in orbit around the azure planet designated XP-724. Captain Amelia Reeves stood on the bridge, her dark eyes fixed on the swirling clouds below. After months of travel through the void of space, they had finally reached their destination, a world that promised to answer humanity's oldest question: are we alone in the universe? Captain, we're picking up unusual energy readings from the surface, reported Lieutenant Kai Nakamura, his fingers dancing across the holographic display. Amelia leaned forward, her heart racing. Can you pinpoint the source? Kai nodded, zooming in on a region of the planet. It's coming from this area. Looks like some kind of artificial structure. The bridge fell silent as the implications sank in. They weren't just looking at a habitable world. They were looking at an inhabited one. Prepare a landing party, Amelia ordered, her voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. I want our best scientists and security personnel. We're making history today. Within the hour, Amelia found herself aboard a sleek shuttle, descending through XP-724's atmosphere. Beside her sat Dr. Elena Sokolov, the team's xenobiologist, and security chief Marcus Okonkwo. The tension in the small craft was palpable. As they broke through the cloud cover, a breathtaking landscape revealed itself. Rolling hills covered in iridescent vegetation stretched as far as the eye could see, and there, nestled in a valley, stood an unmistakably artificial structure, a towering spire that seemed to pulse with energy. My God, Elena whispered, her eyes wide with wonder. The shuttle touched down in a clearing near the spire. Amelia took a deep breath, checking the seal on her exosuit one last time. Remember, she addressed her team, we're here to make peaceful contact. Let's show them the best of humanity. As they stepped onto the alien soil, the air shimmered around them. Suddenly, translucent figures materialized, humanoid in shape, but with elongated limbs and large, almond-shaped eyes that glowed with an inner light. One of the aliens stepped forward, its movements fluid and graceful. It raised a hand in what seemed to be a gesture of greeting. Amelia mirrored the action, her heart pounding. We come in peace, she said, hoping her words would somehow be understood. To her astonishment, a melodious voice echoed in her mind. We welcome you, travelers from the stars. We are the Lumina, and we have long awaited this day. The alien introduced itself as Zephyr, an emissary of the Lumina people. Through some form of telepathy, they were able to communicate, bridging the gap between their vastly different languages. As Zephyr led them towards the spire, Amelia couldn't help but marvel at the advanced technology surrounding them. The entire structure seemed to be alive, pulsing with bioluminescent energy. Your arrival marks a new chapter for both our peoples, Zephyr explained. We have observed your kind from afar, watching your progress with great interest. Elena, barely containing her excitement, asked, You've been studying us? For how long? Zephyr's eyes twinkled with an alien expression that might have been amusement. For many of your centuries, we have seen your triumphs and your struggles. Your resilience in the face of adversity is remarkable. As they entered the spire, holographic displays sprang to life around them, showing images of Earth's history, from ancient civilizations to modern space exploration. Marcus tensed, his hand instinctively moving towards his weapon. How is this possible? Have you been to Earth? Zephyr raised a calming hand. We have not set foot on your world. Our technology allows us to observe from great distances. We mean you no harm. Quite the opposite. We believe that together, our species can achieve greatness beyond imagining. Amelia's mind raced with the implications. The scientific and technological advancements that could come from this encounter were staggering. But more than that, this was the moment humanity had dreamed of for millennia. Proof that we were not alone in the cosmos. Why now? Amelia asked. Why reveal yourselves to us at this moment? Zephyr's expression grew serious. Because the time has come for us to stand together. There are dangers in this galaxy that neither of our species can face alone. Your arrival here was not by chance, Amelia Reeves. It was the first step towards an alliance that will shape the future of this galaxy. As Zephyr spoke, new images appeared on the holographic displays, strange, menacing ships unlike anything Amelia had ever seen. "What are we looking at?" she asked, a chill running down her spine. "A threat that looms on the horizon," Zephyr replied sullenly. "One that will require the combined strength and ingenuity of both our peoples to overcome." Amelia exchanged glances with Elena and Marcus. They had come seeking knowledge and peaceful contact. Instead, they found themselves on the brink of an interstellar conflict. As the gravity of the situation sank in, Amelia straightened her shoulders. Whatever challenges lay ahead, humanity would face them head-on, and now they wouldn't face them alone. "Tell us everything," she said to Zephyr. "If there's a threat to your people and ours, we need to know what we're up against." And so, beneath the alien sky of XP-724, the first seeds of an unprecedented alliance were sown, one that would test the limits of human courage, ingenuity, and determination in the face of cosmic peril. The next few weeks on XP-724 were a whirlwind of discovery and collaboration. The Horizon's crew worked tirelessly alongside the Lumina, sharing knowledge and technology at a pace that left even the most brilliant minds breathless. Dr. Elena Sokolov found herself in her element, poring over the vast biological database the Lumina had compiled. The diversity of life in the galaxy was staggering, and Elena's eyes sparkled with excitement as she absorbed new information about countless alien species. "This is remarkable," she exclaimed to Zephyr one day, gesturing at a holographic display of a creature that seemed to defy the laws of biology as she understood them. "How is it possible for a being to exist in a state of quantum superposition?" Zephyr's eyes glimmered with what Elena had come to recognize as amusement. "Your understanding of quantum mechanics is just the beginning, Elena. Life finds a way to harness the fundamental forces of the universe in ways that often surprise even us." Meanwhile, Lieutenant Kai Nakamura was engrossed in studying Lumina technology. Their mastery of energy manipulation and faster-than-light travel made Earth's most advanced tech seem primitive by comparison. Yet, Kai found that human ingenuity and outside-the-box thinking often led to solutions that surprised even the Lumina. "Your species has a remarkable ability to innovate with limited resources," Nelara, a Lumina scientist, commented as Kai demonstrated a makeshift repair to a malfunctioning Lumina device using Earth components. Kai grinned, his hands busy with the delicate work. "Necessity is the mother of invention, as we say on Earth. When you don't have much to work with, you learn to get creative." Captain Amelia Reeves split her time between coordinating with her crew and engaging in strategic discussions with the Lumina leadership. The looming threat Zephyr had mentioned weighed heavily on her mind. "Tell me more about these void hunters," Amelia asked during one such meeting. The name alone sent a chill down her spine. Zephyr's usually serene features darkened. "They are a scourge upon the galaxy, Amelia. A race driven by an insatiable hunger for energy and resources. They consume entire worlds, leaving nothing but lifeless husks in their wake." Holographic images appeared, showing massive angular ships that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. Amelia watched in horror as one such ship approached a vibrant planet, only to leave it gray and lifeless minutes later. "How do we stop them?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "Alone, neither of our species can," Zephyr replied. "But together, we might stand a chance. Your adaptability, combined with our technology, could be the key to developing a defense against them." As the days passed, the cultural exchange deepened. Security Chief Marcus Okonkwo found himself teaching a group of fascinated Lumina about Earth sports, demonstrating the rules of soccer with a makeshift ball. "I don't understand," one Lumina, named Lyra, said. "Why expend so much energy moving this object into a designated area?" Marcus laughed. "It's not about the ball, Lyra. It's about teamwork, strategy, and the thrill of competition. Sometimes, the journey is more important than the destination. Lyra tilted her head, considering. Perhaps there is wisdom in this. Your species finds unity and purpose in such simple acts. It is admirable. The Lumina, in turn, shared their own forms of art and recreation. Amelia found herself mesmerized by a Lumina musical performance, where shifts in bioluminescence created visual symphonies that complemented haunting, ethereal melodies. "It's beautiful," she murmured to Zephyr. "I've never experienced anything like it." Zephyr nodded. Music, it seems, is a universal language. Though our forms differ, the emotions it evokes are much the same. As the cultural exchange progressed, both humans and Lumina found their preconceptions challenged and their horizons expanded. The initial wonder of first contact gave way to a deeper appreciation for each other's strengths and unique perspectives. However, the specter of the Void Hunters loomed ever present in the background. Every breakthrough in understanding between humans and Lumina was tempered by the knowledge that this alliance might soon be put to the ultimate test. One evening, as twin moons rose over the alien landscape, Amelia stood with Zephyr atop the Great Spire, looking out over the iridescent forests of XP724. "Do you think we're ready?" she asked, her voice carrying a mix of hope and apprehension. Zephyr was silent for a moment before responding. "Ready or not, the time for action approaches. Our long-range sensors have detected Void Hunter activity at the edges of this sector. We must prepare for their arrival." Amelia nodded, her jaw set with determination. "Then we'll face them together. Humanity has faced extinction-level threats before. We've always found a way to survive, to push back against the darkness." "Your species' resilience gives me hope, Amelia," Zephyr said. "Perhaps together, we can forge a future where the light of our civilizations outshines the void." As they stood there, an human and an alien united in purpose, the first stars began to twinkle in the alien sky. Somewhere out there, a terrifying enemy was approaching. But on this world, an unprecedented alliance was preparing to make its stand. Amelia took a deep breath, steeling herself for the challenges ahead. "All right," she said, turning to Zephyr. "Let's show these Void Hunters what happens when they pick a fight with humanity and the Lumina." And with that, the next phase of their journey began, a race against time to prepare for a battle that would determine the fate of not just two species, but potentially the entire galaxy. The once peaceful planet of XP724 had transformed into a hive of activity. Human and Lumina scientists worked tirelessly in makeshift laboratories, while engineers from both species collaborated on upgrading the Horizon's defensive capabilities. The impending arrival of the Void Hunters cast a shadow over every interaction, lending urgency to their efforts. Captain Amelia Rees stood in the newly established war room, surrounded by holographic displays showing the movement of Void Hunter ships. Each passing day brought the enemy closer to their position. "They'll be within striking distance in less than a week," Lieutenant Kai Nakamura reported, his usually calm demeanor strained. Zephyr, standing beside Amelia, nodded gravely. "Then we must accelerate our preparations. Dr. Sokolov, what progress have you made on understanding Void Hunter biology?" Elena stepped forward, dark circles under her eyes, betraying long nights of study. "Their physiology is unlike anything we've encountered. They seem to exist in a state of constant energy consumption. It's as if they're not just feeding on planets, but on the very essence of life itself. Any weaknesses we can exploit?" Security Chief Marcus Okonkwo asked, always focused on tactical advantages. Elena hesitated. "Possibly. Their dependence on energy might be turned against them. We're working on a way to overload their systems, but it's theoretical at best." Amelia nodded, taking in the information. "Keep at it, Elena. Any advantage, no matter how small, could make the difference." As the meeting continued, alarms suddenly blared throughout the complex. Kai's hands flew across his console. "Captain, we're detecting a small Void Hunter scout ship entering the system." Tension filled the room as everyone realized the gravity of the situation. Their enemy had arrived sooner than expected. Battle stations, Amelia ordered, her voice steady despite the adrenaline surging through her veins. Kai, get the Horizon ready for immediate launch. Marcus, coordinate with the Lumina Defense Forces. We need to intercept that scout before it can report back to the main fleet. As the humans rushed to their positions, Zephyr placed a hand on Amelia's shoulder. This is it, Captain, the moment that will define our alliance. Amelia nodded, determination etched on her face. We're ready, Zephyr. Let's show them what we can do together. Within minutes, the Horizon was airborne, accompanied by a squadron of Lumina vessels. The sleek, bioluminescent ships of the Lumina contrasted sharply with the more utilitarian design of the human vessel, yet they moved in perfect formation. As they broke through the atmosphere, the vastness of space greeted them, and there, against the backdrop of stars, loomed the Void Hunter scout ship. It was smaller than the behemoths they had seen in the Lumina archives, but no less menacing. Its hull seemed to absorb light, creating an unsettling void in the fabric of space. All ships, hold position, Amelia commanded. Let's see if we can establish communication before engaging. But the Void Hunter ship had other plans. Without warning, it unleashed a barrage of energy weapons, the dark beams slicing through the void towards the Allied fleet. Evasive maneuvers. Amelia shouted as the Horizon banked hard to port, narrowly avoiding the attack. The Lumina ships scattered with impossible grace, their movements fluid and unpredictable. What followed was a dance of light and shadow in the empty expanse of space. The Horizon's human-made weapons seemed to barely scratch the Void Hunter's hull, while the Lumina's energy-based attacks appeared more effective but still not decisive. Our weapons aren't strong enough, Marcus reported, frustration evident in his voice. Suddenly, Elena's voice crackled over the comm. Captain, I have an idea. The Void Hunters feed on energy, right? What if we give them more than they can handle? Amelia's eyes widened as she grasped Elena's plan. Kai, divert all power to the main deflector dish. Elena, work with Illumina to channel their energy weapons through our systems. As the battle raged on, human and Lumina technology merged in a desperate gambit. The Horizon's deflector dish began to glow with an intensity that rivaled nearby stars, channeling the combined power of both species. Now, Amelia commanded. A blinding beam of pure energy erupted from the Horizon, engulfing the Void Hunter ship. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, cracks began to appear in the enemy vessel's hull, light pouring out from within. The Void Hunter ship shuddered, its systems overloading from the massive energy influx. In a final silent explosion, it disintegrated into a cloud of sparkling debris. A cheer erupted on the Horizon's bridge, echoed by triumphant signals from the Lumina ships. They had won their first battle against the Void Hunters. As the Allied fleet returned to XP 724, the gravity of what they had accomplished began to sink in. It wasn't just a victory in combat. It was proof that humans and Lumina, working together, could stand against the terror that had plagued the galaxy. Back on the planet's surface, Amelia and Zephyr stood once again atop the Great Spire, looking out at the horizon where their ships had vanished into the sky just hours before. We've bloodied their nose, Amelia said, but the real fight is still to come. Zephyr nodded, its bioluminescence pulsing with what Amelia had come to recognize as a mix of emotions: pride, worry, and determination. Indeed, the main Void Hunter fleet will have noticed the loss of their scout. They will come in force now, and we must be ready. Amelia turned to face her alien friend, extending her hand in a very human gesture. Then let's get to work. We've proven what we can do together. Now it's time to save the galaxy. As they shook hands, human and Lumina, flesh and energy, both knew that the greatest challenges still lay ahead. But for the first time since learning of the Void Hunter threat, there was a glimmer of hope. Together, they just might stand a chance against the darkness that threatened to engulf them all. The destruction of the Void Hunter scout ship had bought the Alliance precious time, But it had also accelerated the inevitable confrontation. As the main Void Hunter fleet approached, the combined forces of humanity and the Lumina worked feverishly to prepare their defenses. On the surface of XP-724, the once tranquil landscape had been transformed into a massive shipyard. Lumina bioorganic vessels grew alongside retrofitted human ships, creating a fleet that was as diverse as it was formidable. The air hummed with the constant buzz of activity, punctuated by the occasional test fire of newly developed weapons systems. Inside the Great Spire, now serving as the Alliance's command center, Captain Amelia Reeves pored over strategic simulations with Zephyr and her crew. Holographic displays showed countless scenarios, each one a potential path to victory or annihilation. If we concentrate our forces here, Marcus suggested, pointing to a sector of space near XP-724's largest moon, we might be able to funnel their ships into a kill zone. Zephyr's bioluminescence flickered thoughtfully. A sound strategy, but the Void Hunters are known for their unpredictability. We must be prepared for them to defy conventional tactics. As they debated strategy, Dr. Elena Sokolov burst into the room, her eyes wide with excitement. "Captain, Zephyr, I think we had a breakthrough." All eyes turned to the xenobiologist as she activated a holographic display. "We've been studying the debris from the scout ship, and we've discovered something incredible. The Void Hunters' technology isn't just energy-hungry, it's energy-dependent. Their ships, their weapons, even their very bodies are held together by complex energy fields." Lieutenant Kai Nakamura leaned forward, intrigued. "Are you saying we could disrupt those fields somehow?" Elena nodded vigorously. "Exactly. If we can create a large enough energy disruption, we might be able to destabilize their entire fleet at once." Amelia felt a surge of hope, tempered by caution. What would it take to create a disruption on that scale? "That's the tricky part," Elena admitted. "We'd need to generate an energy pulse unlike anything we've ever attempted. It would require combining the Horizon's deflector-dish technology with the Lumina's most powerful energy projection capabilities." Zephyr's form shimmered with intensity. "It's risky, but it may be our best chance. We'll need to modify our flagship to channel such enormous power." Amelia nodded decisively. "All right, let's make it happen. Kai, work with the Lumina engineers to begin the modifications. Elena, continue refining the disruption theory. Marcus, coordinate our defense plans around this new strategy." As the team dispersed to their tasks, Amelia found herself alone with Zephyr. The alien's normally serene features were etched with concern. "What's on your mind, old friend?" Amelia asked softly. Zephyr's gaze turned to the window, where the shipyard bustled with activity. "I fear the cost of this battle, Amelia. Even if we succeed, how many lives will be lost? How many worlds will suffer?" Amelia placed a comforting hand on Zephyr's shoulder, marveling at the warm, tingling sensation of the alien's energy field. "That's why we have to win, Zephyr, to prevent even greater losses. Our two species have accomplished so much in so little time. Imagine what we could do in peace once this threat is eliminated." Zephyr's bioluminescence brightened slightly. "Your optimism is admirable, Captain. It reminds me why we chose to reveal ourselves to your kind." Their moment of reflection was interrupted by a priority alert. Kai's voice came over the comm system, tight with urgency. "Captain, long-range sensors have detected the Void Hunter fleet. They'll be here in less than 48 hours. Amelia's jaw set with determination. "Understood, Lieutenant. Sound General Quarters. It's time to put our plans into action." The next 2 days were a blur of final preparations. The combined fleet took up defensive positions around XP-724, with the modified Horizon at its center. The Great Energy Disruptor, a patchwork of human and Luma technology, pulsed with barely contained power at the heart of the formation. As the clock ticked down to the Void Hunter's arrival, Amelia addressed the assembled crews, human and Lumina alike, from the Horizon's bridge. "We stand at a pivotal moment in the history of both our peoples," she began, her voice carried to every ship and station in the fleet. "The enemy we face threatens not just our lives, but the very essence of what we are. They seek to consume, to destroy, to leave nothing but emptiness in their wake." She paused, looking at the determined faces around her. Kai at his console, Elena clutching her datapad, Marcus standing ready at tactical, and Zephyr glowing with quiet strength. "But we are not empty," Amelia continued, her voice growing stronger. "We are filled with courage, with ingenuity, with the unbreakable will to survive. Humanity and Lumina, so different yet united in purpose. Together, we have achieved wonders in mere weeks that neither of us could have imagined alone." The comm channels filled with cheers and the unique harmonic tones of Lumina agreement. "The Void Hunters believe the galaxy is theirs to devour. Today, we prove them wrong. Today, we show them that life, in all its beautiful diversity, will always find a way to shine in the darkness. To your stations, all of you, let's make history." As Amelia finished her speech, a hush fell over the fleet. In the distance, space itself seemed to warp and twist as the first Void Hunter ships emerged from faster-than-light travel. The massive, light-absorbing hulls of the enemy armada blotted out the stars, a moving darkness that threatened to swallow everything in its path. For a moment, the sheer scale of the threat they faced left everyone stunned into silence. Then, Amelia's voice rang out, clear and unwavering. "All ships, battle stations. This is where we make our stand." And with that, the greatest battle in the history of both species began, the fate of the galaxy hanging in the balance. As the Void Hunter fleet emerged from the darkness of space, the alliance of humans and Lumina steeled themselves for the fight of their lives. The enemy ships, massive constructs of shadow and hunger, moved with an eerie grace that belied their destructive nature. Captain Amelia Reeves stood at the helm of the Horizon, the ship's energy disruptor humming with potential. "All ships, hold formation," she commanded. "Wait for them to enter optimal range." The Void Hunters, perhaps sensing the trap, held back initially. Then, without warning, they launched a barrage of energy-draining projectiles that warped the very fabric of space as they approached. "Evasive maneuvers," Amelia shouted. The combined fleet scattered, their practiced formations allowing them to dodge the worst of the assault. But not all were so fortunate. Several smaller ships, both human and Lumina, winked out of existence as the projectiles struck home. Zephyr's voice came over the comm, tinged with both sorrow and determination. "We cannot wait any longer, Captain. We must strike now." Amelia nodded grimly. "Agreed. All ships, engage at will. Kai, begin power-up sequence for the disruptor." The space between the two fleets erupted in a dazzling display of weapons fire. Human railguns launched hypervelocity projectiles that punched holes through Void Hunter shields. Lumen energy weapons painted lines of searing light across the battlefield. The Void Hunters responded in kind, their dark energy beams consuming anything they touched. In the midst of the chaos, the Horizon maneuvered into position, its disruptor slowly building to critical levels. On the bridge, warning klaxons blared as the ship's systems strained under the enormous power output. "Hull integrity at 72% and falling," Marcus reported, his hands flying over the tactical console. "We can't take much more of this." Elena's voice cut through the noise. "The disruptor is almost ready. We just need a few more minutes." But the Void Hunters, seeming to sense the threat, began to focus their attacks on the Horizon. The ship shuddered under the assault, its shields flickering dangerously. "We're not going to make it," Kai shouted over the sound of buckling metal. Just then, a group of Lumina ships broke formation, positioning themselves between the Horizon and the incoming fire. Their bioorganic hulls glowed brilliantly as they absorbed the brunt of the attack. Zephyr's voice crackled over the comm. "We will buy you the time you need, Captain. Make it count." Amelia watched in awe as the Lumina ships sacrificed themselves, their forms slowly disintegrating under the relentless Void Hunter assault. Kai, status on the disruptor. 90%, 95, we're there. Disruptor at full power. Amelia took a deep breath. This was it. Everything they had worked for came down to this moment. Fire the disruptor. A blinding pulse of energy erupted from the horizon, expanding outward in a sphere of pure disruption. As it washed over the Void Hunter fleet, the effect was immediate and devastating. The energy fields holding their ships together began to fluctuate wildly. Some of the smaller vessels simply fell apart, their components scattering into space. The larger ships, including the terrifying flagship, shuddered and warped as if in pain. For a moment, it seemed as though victory was within grasp. But then, to everyone's horror, the Void Hunters began to adapt. Their ships, though damaged, started to reconfigure, drawing in the energy of the disruption and using it to reform their structures. No, Elena whispered, staring at her readings in disbelief. They're feeding on the disruption itself. The Void Hunter flagship, now grotesquely swollen with absorbed energy, turned its attention to the horizon. A beam of concentrated darkness lanced out, slicing through the human ship's weakened defenses. Hull breach on decks 4 through 7. Marcus yelled as the ship lurched violently. We're venting atmosphere. Amelia gripped her command chair, her mind racing. They had given everything they had, and it wasn't enough. The Void Hunters were simply too adaptable, too hungry. As she watched the enemy ships closing in, a desperate plan formed in her mind. Kai, can we overload the disruptor? She asked, her voice calm despite the chaos around her. Kai looked at her in shock, quickly realizing what she was suggesting. Yes, but, Captain, that would destroy us along with them. Amelia nodded solemnly. Send the order to all remaining ships. Get clear of the blast radius. We're going to give these Void Hunters more than they can handle. As the evacuation order went out, Amelia turned to her bridge crew. It's been an honor serving with all of you. You don't have to stay. But she was cut off as, one by one, her crew affirmed their intention to see this through to the end. Even Zephyr, appearing on the bridge in a shimmer of light, stood with them. Together then, Amelia said, a proud smile on her face despite the dire circumstances. Kai, initiate overload sequence. The Horizon systems screamed in protest as power was diverted to the disruptor beyond all safe limits. The Void Hunters, sensing the buildup of energy, redoubled their attack on the ship, but it was too late. In its final moments, the Horizon unleashed a blast that dwarfed its previous attack. The disruptor didn't just fire, it exploded, releasing all of its pent-up energy in a single universe-altering moment. The resulting shockwave engulfed everything within light years. Void Hunter ships, caught in the blast, were not just destroyed, they were unmade, their very atoms torn apart and scattered to the cosmic winds. As the light of the explosion faded, an eerie silence fell over the battlefield. Where once there had been two mighty fleets locked in combat, now there was only debris, slowly dispersing in the vacuum of space. The great conflict was over, but at what cost? The silence that followed the Horizon's sacrifice was deafening. Scattered remnants of both fleets drifted aimlessly through the void, a somber testament to the battle's ferocity. For those who survived, the reality of what had transpired was almost too much to comprehend. On the surface of XP-724, the remaining Lumina and humans gathered in stunned silence. The loss of so many lives, including the heroic crew of the Horizon, weighed heavily on everyone's hearts. Yet, amidst the sorrow, there was also a glimmer of hope. The Void Hunter threat had been neutralized, at least for now. Days turned into weeks as the Alliance worked to recover from the battle. Search and rescue operations scoured the debris field, hoping against hope to find survivors. Surprisingly, a few escape pods were recovered, carrying both human and Lumina crew members. Each rescue was celebrated, a small victory against the overwhelming loss. In the Great Spire, now serving as a memorial and command center, Lieutenant Kai Nakamura, one of the few senior officers who had bbeen off the horizon during the final battle, stood before a holographic display of the galaxy. Beside him, Lyra, a young lunar scientist, watched intently. The shockwave from the horizon's sacrifice did more than destroy the Void Hunters, Kai explained, his voice a mix of awe and lingering grief. It created a ripple effect through subspace. We're detecting similar energy signatures in other sectors where Void Hunter activity was reported. Lyra's bioluminescence pulsed with excitement. Are you saying that a single act of sacrifice may have saved not just our worlds, but countless others across the galaxy? Kai nodded sullenly. It seems Captain Reeves and her crew gave even more than we realized. Their legacy will echo through the stars for generations to come. As the Alliance began to rebuild, the unique synergy between human and lunar technologies that had been born of necessity during wartime now flourished in peace. The shipyards that had once produced vessels of war were repurposed to create exploration ships designed to venture further into the galaxy than either species had gone before. Dr. Elena Sokolov, who had survived the battle, led a team of human and luminous scientists in studying the remnants of Void Hunter technology. Their goal was not to weaponize it, but to understand it, to ensure that if such a threat ever rose again, they would be better prepared. The Void Hunter's ability to absorb and adapt to energy is fascinating. Elena mused during one research session. If we can harness that capability for peaceful purposes, imagine the advancements we could make in clean energy production, or even in healing technologies. Months passed, and the scars of war slowly began to heal. The alliance between humans and Lumina, forged in the crucible of conflict, grew stronger with each passing day. What had begun as a chance encounter between two species had evolved into a deep bond of mutual respect and shared purpose. 1 year after the Great Battle, a ceremony was held at the site where the Horizon had made its last stand. A memorial satellite was launched, its design a blend of human and lunar aesthetics. As it took its place among the stars, it broadcasted a message of peace and unity to the galaxy at large. Security Chief Marcus Okonkwo, now serving as the human liaison to the Lunar High Council, stood before the assembled crowd. Today, we remember those who gave everything to secure our future, but we also look forward to the new horizons that their sacrifice has opened for us. Zephyr, who had survived thanks to a last-minute transfer of their consciousness, continued where Marcus left off. The threat we faced brought our peoples together. Now, in peace, we have the opportunity to show the galaxy what can be achieved when different species work as one. As if on cue, a sleek new ship rose from the XP 724 shipyards. The Stargazer, as it had been christened, represented the pinnacle of human-lunar cooperation. It was a vessel of exploration, built not for war, but for discovery. This ship, Marcus announced, his voice swelling with pride, will carry the first joint human-lunar crew into uncharted space. Its mission: to seek out new life, to extend the hand of friendship to other species, and to honor the memory of those who made this journey possible. As the Stargazer prepared for its maiden voyage, there was a palpable sense of excitement and trepidation among its crew. They were venturing into the unknown, but they did so united in purpose and strengthened by the bonds of their unlikely alliance. On the bridge of the Stargazer, Captain Lyra, the young lunar scientist who had shown such promise in the aftermath of the war, stood alongside her human first officer, Commander Aisha Chen. The two shared a look of determination as the ship's engines hummed to life. "Ready to make history, Commander?" Lyra asked, her bioluminescence gleaming with anticipation. Aisha nodded, a smile playing on her lips. "Ready as we'll ever be, Captain. The galaxy awaits." As the Stargazer lifted off, watched by cheering crowds of humans and Lumina alike, it carried with it the hopes and dreams of two species. The ship's mission was more than exploration. It was a testament to the indomitable spirit of life itself, a beacon of hope in a vast and sometimes dangerous universe. The Stargazer streaked into the sky, quickly becoming a distant point of light among the stars. For those watching from the ground, it was a powerful symbol. Out of the darkness of war, A new light of cooperation and mutual understanding had been born. As the ship disappeared from view, Zephyr turned to Marcus, that alien features set in what the human had come to recognize as a smile. "And so, old friend, a new chapter begins." Marcus nodded, his eyes still fixed on the sky. "Indeed it does, Zephyr. Indeed it does." And with that, the unlikely alliance of humans and Lumina took its first steps into a future bright with possibility, ready to face whatever challenges the vast expanse of space might hold, together.